What up, Raffleaders? Welcome back to my channel. We are back at Lilliendale and Pattinson here on Railway Road, and today I wanted to give you an update on what's happening in this neck of the woods, what's happening on Railway Road. We're going to go all the way to Ogle, and then we're going to take a look at the new hotel down there. But for now, I wanted to see what was happening in the time since we've been away from this part of the East Coast, and I want to see what has happened to Pashia Global 5-Star Hotel and to the East Coast Road Construction Project here on Railway Road. So let's take a look. What is up, Raffleaders? Welcome back to my channel. We are back on the Railway Road. This is Railway Road at Pattinson. Last time we were here, they had completed the Railway Road up to that point, up to where this structure, multi-story structure, was built. And they had laid some rock chips on the section in which I'm standing on. And we're trying to find out exactly how far they've gotten with this railway road since the last time we were here. So they've actually completed a lot of road. Now, this side of the road had been covered with rock chips. Now it's covered with asphalt. Where are we? We are actually going past the Pashia Global 5-Star Hotel and Resort. Last time we were here, it looks exactly the same way it did last time we were here. In other words, they're still working, I guess, on the exterior and interior walls of the building. You can see there's still some cranes on the top of the building. That is the tallest hotel under construction in Guyana. In this series of videos, I'm gonna do an update on some of the hotels that I've been keeping track of for the last year or so, and that includes the one at Temeri, which is now officially open, and the one at Ogle, which should be completed given how long ago since the last time I was there. But this is Pashia. Pashia seems to be exactly the same way it was the last time we were here, so we're not going to go into details. Oh, it seems as if they've added some glass. See, I can see what appears to be glass. So it seems they've added some glass windows or walls to Pashia. That's new. So, oh no, it's not glass. I think I'm actually seeing through the building. We're just looking through the buildings, through some openings. I don't think that's glass. Anyway, we'll be able to take a look at it sometime in the future. But as I was saying, the last time we were here in this neck of the woods, Pattinson and Lilliendale, this is Pump Road, right towards the pump station at Lilliendale. Last time we were here, they had completed the road. They had started laying brick on the surface of the road. Up to this point, they were building this bridge. It seems as if they're still working on putting a surface on this bridge. Alright, they're still putting a surface on the bridge. So yes, guys, here on the east coast of Demerara, we're going east now towards Ogle, and like I said, they had started laying brick on this part of the road the last time we were here. Alright, that's Pashia. Yeah, I'm convinced now that I've changed the angle that it's not glass we're seeing. They haven't actually started adding windows to this building. No, that's not glass. They're just looking through the building, through to the other side. So Pashia is still under construction. We're gonna do a further update to it the next time we're in this neck of the woods. But for now, let's proceed. Let's head east. So what I've done so far here on the east coast, that is Railway Road, and of course that's the aquatic center. Right, this is the National Aquatic Center, basically a swimming pool where kids come and practice. Right, it's okay. I don't think it's an Olympic-sized swimming pool. I think it might be a 25-meter pool, one similar to what you would find at maybe a high school in the US. So that's the entrance to the National Aquatic Center. But yeah, here we're heading east on Railway Road, and what you can see here, this is the Arthur Chung Convention Center. Arthur Chung Convention Center, of course, it's next door to Pashia. And yeah, what you can see is that the road surface has been completed here on Railway. They haven't added the road markings on the eastbound lanes. As you recall, what they do from time to time, in fact on weekdays, is they make all of both the eastbound and the westbound traffic all head west into Georgetown on weekday mornings. So it's still early, it's still about 7 a.m. So traffic is still moving in both directions. But what is clear here is that they've managed to complete the surface. Right, they've completed the surface of the road here. That's the National Aquatic Center just passed. Giving you an idea of the area as well as the dimensions. Right, so this is a four-lane highway now. It used to be just two lanes, one heading east and one heading west. Now you have two lanes heading east and two lanes heading west. We're at this intersection with the road to the mall. Right, this is the headquarters of CARICOM headquarters, and behind it is Giftland Mall. See those red roofs, the wide red roof in the background, that's Giftland Mall. And this road is the quarter mile or so of new road to Giftland Mall at the intersection with East. This East Coast Road, which is Railway Road, now used to be a railway here. This is where the old railway lines used to be. They converted the railway embankment into a road, and now that road is being made wider into a four-lane highway, two lanes heading east and two lanes heading west. So they've completed the surface of the road, at least up here until the entrance to Giftland Mall. And I think the project is supposed to take it all the way to Mahaica. So they're supposed to widen this road all the way to Mahaica. Mahaica would be about 25 miles east of where we are right now. my guess, rough guess, 20 to 25 miles east of where we are. If the Demerara River at Rosignol is about 50 miles or so from where we are right now. So Mahaica would be halfway there. Last time I remember driving to Mahaica with my mom, I was in the 90s, I think, 94, 95. Taking my mom to see a friend, driving in a night. It was a nightmare because it was just this narrow road on the East Coast. Mahaica. Now, of course, there's going to be options. Not only is there a wider East Coast road, there's also going to be a wider railway road. So this is actually looking quite good. Progress has been made. Over here is SPM Offshore. This is another one of the oil and gas contractors here, subcontractors. And that's of course the headquarters of CARICOM headquarters, Caribbean Community headquarters here in Georgetown, Guyana at Turkeyen. Just crossing into Turkeyen now, leaving Pattinson. This is the road to, we've done this before, but this is the road to Movie Town. Right, Movie Town, and they're building some new residential houses along that road. We're going to check that out again in future. It's a while since we've been back in this neck of the woods. I don't think we've been here since before the election cycle, the election day. That was before September 1st. We're now at the end of September, but we're getting back on track. It didn't feel safe to be roaming the streets of Georgetown during election season, and I thought I'd give it some time before I get back on the road doing my morning run and doing these videos. But we're now back. I think I feel a little more normal again to do this. So they've actually completed this road considerable distance since the last time we were here. For the month or so that we've been away, they've managed to complete a lot of the road surface. So the last time we were here, this part of the road from the entrance at Turkeyen, right, the entrance to the road at Turkeyen, to Movie Town at Turkeyen, to the UG road, they hadn't yet completed it. And now not only have they completed it, they've actually added this sidewalk, drain cover sidewalk. All right, so this is now, they still need, of course, to add the road markings, the white lines and the broken white lines and so on, the yellow lines. Those still need to be added. But at the next intersection, that's UG Road, that's the road to UG. And they've actually completed this road beyond the road to UG. So they've made some significant progress since the last time we were here. This is the Turkeyen neighborhood. Those of you who remember this area when it was just a dam, a mud dam back in the 90s, it would be an alternative way to walk home from UG. You could walk the mud dam at the back, which was, of course, Dennis Street, has now become Dennis Street, or you could walk this dam, which was initially the railway embankment. Now, of course, Dennis Street is a major traffic route into Sophia. And this road, Railway Road, is now as good as the East Coast Rupert Craig Highway. So it seems as if it continues all the way to Ogle. In the distance, they've managed to complete the surface. Remember the last time we were here, you would see piles of dust, just piles and piles of dust because of because they were still working on the surface of the road and cars were driving at the same time. And part of it, or lots of sections of it, was close to traffic. Now, of course, it is much more like a road. What I'm not getting used to is how random this sidewalk is. The edge of the road, it's it's not straight. Now, this might be because the scuff was leading to an intersection. So maybe they're going to put some turning lanes here. Maybe that's the reason why it's made wider at this section. But this feels a little bit random, as if it wasn't carefully planned. But yes, this is the intersection with UG Road and the beginning of the new village called Cummings Lodge. So we're crossing into Cummings Lodge from Turkeyen. And this intersection, of course, the road markings have not yet been placed, but the surface of the road has been completed. Now, of course, UG Road looks narrow. That's looking towards the seawall, and that's looking towards UG, right towards the entrance to the university. In fact, that tall sign is the entrance. So they've completed this railway road into or up to Cummings Lodge, as we can see. If you look at this, the lines on the road, look at how the line just turns left. There's just a wiggle in the road. The road direction changes what appears to be randomly. This is what I'm not getting used to. It's not uniform, and for some strange reason, they've built all these quirks into the road that makes it really quirky, and I think also somewhat unsafe, because unless you were following very carefully the shape of the road, the directions of the road, you might miss the fact that the road is changing directions in a random and quirky way all along this distance. But what is good about this is that we can see progress in that a few months ago, the last time I was actually trying to walk down this road, there was so much dust because the surface of the road was not completed that I abandoned the walk because it didn't feel safe. I mean, the dust that was going to end up in my lungs made me just abandon this whole exercise. But today they've completed the surface of the road. You can see, of course, they've also covered this drain, and the drain covers is still the way we build sidewalks in Guyana, because of course nobody seems to think that they ought to be dedicated sidewalks. Pedestrians are an afterthought. Hopefully the next generation will get it right. But for now, this is what progress looks like in Guyana. Progress looks like mediocrity from any other country. But of course, there are people who actually have no idea what standards are, who will argue that I should not complain. I'm not complaining, I'm pointing out very poor standards that are being used. In other words, there is no building code. We still don't have a policy on how to construct roads in Guyana. We don't have a document that says these are the dimensions of the road everywhere in the country. If it's this kind of road, then this is how wide it should be. This is how wide the sidewalk should be. This is how high the sidewalk should be. There's no document that simply outlines or describes how to construct roads, and there's no quality assurance. There's no one checking to make sure that these roads all meet the same quality. Now the gutter comes to an abrupt end here, and that's it. That's the end of the sidewalk. A 1.5 foot drop. And here, of course, is the other gutter. So this is the gutter on the side of the road, and they've covered it with some concrete slabs, and that's the sidewalk. And that, of course, it's a long time since I visited this housing development, but there's a row of houses. I think it's not completed. Got to go take a look at that housing development again to see if, in fact, if they started renting out the apartments and what they cost. But about a year ago, I think, it's the last time I visited them. But yes, guys, this is Cummings Lodge on the East Coast, on the railway road, and what we can see is that they've completed the railway road all the way, it seems, to Ogle. Right, since we started this video, we were at Pattinson, crossed into Liliendal, or we crossed from Liliendal into Pattinson, and then crossed into Turkeyen, and crossed into Cummings Lodge, where we are now, and Industry, I guess, is the next village. And after Industry, it's Ogle. And it seems as if this road has been completed all the way, at least up to Ogle. So this is what's happening here, guys. This is what is happening in this neck of the woods as we get an update on the railway road, the widening of the railway road. From the time we started looking at this at the end, the east, this western end at Sheriff Street, to now, it's about 2 years, maybe a little more than 2 years, 3 years, maybe even 5 years. Because I remember looking at it when they first started. In other words, we started making videos when they first announced that they were going to widen this road. And now it's a wider road. So it's taken about 5 years, but we've seen we can see the progress. Right, where we are now is Cummings Lodge heading into industry, and this is the railway road through Cummings Lodge. Now, this continues all the way to, this railway road continues all the way to Mahaica, and the whole extent of the whole length of this railway road. In fact, the embankment itself for the train went all the way to Rossignol. In other words, this is a road that ran the entire coast of Demerara from Georgetown to Rossignol. And the road has been constructed all the way to Mahaica, and it's going to be widened in this exercise, this project. It's going to be widened all the way to Mahaica. So it seems as if they've completed the widening at least as far as Ogle, which we can see in the distance, perhaps as far as Plaisance, where we visited before. We're now in industry, right? So this is the railway road going through industry, and the next village is Ogle. But this is what has happened. It has become a wider road, which means, I guess, better traffic flow, hopefully less congestion now that the road is open, because for the last year or so it was a nightmare trying to move down the east coast to Georgetown, particularly on weekday mornings. And we're going to do a review of that, get some commuters to tell us what their experiences have been. Of course, there are always speeding trucks. That's a truck going at about 60 miles an hour here on the railway road. Of course, the speed limit is 30 miles an hour. So this is what is happening, guys. This is here now, the railway road. It's now wider all the way to, I believe, Ogle and perhaps Plaisance, as we pass through industry. Right, this is the road through industry. And all these neighborhoods are now, I guess, accessible because of the new railway road. You can begin to see airplanes taking off from Ogle Airport. And that's one of the planes taking off from Ogle Airport. And this is industry, looking, of course, north. You can see the roof of that building, which is in Oleander Gardens. That's a multi-story condominium in Oleander Gardens, and we featured in several videos in the past. So that's where we are on Railway Road. But yes, guys, this is what has happened here since the last time we were in here. This is what the progress with construction on the East Coast looks like. Now, it's difficult to see, of course, looking into the sunlight, but what they've done is they've resurfaced the road, made it wider. They've also replaced some of these what do you call them, street lamp posts. Street lamp posts. This is a new residence here at Industry. Or it says the residence at Industry. So basically, this wider road makes it possible. I don't know if this is a hotel. It says the residence. It could be a hotel or a apartment building. But here at Industry, this is Housing Supermarket. Yeah, what I was about to say is that this wider road opens up access to places like Industry to commuters, people who don't necessarily live in this neighborhood, but now can drive along the road and stop, maybe visit some of the shopping centers, markets, supermarkets, and hotels. All right, so the road actually does add something of value to these areas. As we cross over from Industry into Ogle, right, this is the canal that separates Industry from Ogle. I think this is Sugrim Road, looking south towards Ogle. Yep, this is again Sugrim Road looking north towards the seawall. And here we are in Ogle. As you cross into Ogle, you can see the road is still wider. I guess they still need to do some work on the drain covers here. But that's what's up, guys. That's what's happening in this neck of the woods. If you want to see more content like this, click like and subscribe. The next intersection, I think, brings us to the roundabout. Right, that roundabout at Ogle, the entrance to Ogle Airport Road and the new East Coast Bypass Road. But this is what has happened. They've completed the railway road. They've completed widening of the railway road all the way to Ogle. This part of the road, of course, not as wide as the other part. As you can see, there are still some electric lamp posts. This one sitting in the middle of the slow lane. Right, so I guess they're gonna have to eventually move this lamp post. They just haven't done it yet, I guess. Right, but the problem, of course, is that by widening this road, they've now moved the road, the edge of the road, right up against the property line of some of the houses. All right, so these houses were built very, very close to the embankment here in Ogle, and now that the road is wider, they've moved traffic right up against the property line. But that's it, guys. That's what's up in this neck of the woods. If you want to see more content like this, click like and subscribe. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Morning. Let people know what's happening in the fastest growing country in the world, Guyana. Later. Right, this is Ogle, and as you can see, some of this some of these posts, these lamp posts, are actually in the middle of the lane that we're walking on. It affects the widening of the road. They actually have to remove those electric poles, telephone poles, to complete the widening. So that's it, guys. That's what's up in this neck of the woods. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening. The fastest growing economy in the world. Here I am. Let's get to Ogle. It's very, very busy at Ogle. This road, I think, takes you all the way out to the shore. Yep, I've used that road before. And here, of course, the same. Takes you into the back of Ogle. And now, now we're approaching morning. We're approaching the roundabout of Ogle. So this is as far as the widening of the East Coast Railway Road reaches. As you can see beyond, I don't know if you can see it clearly, but beyond the roundabout, heading towards Plaisance, the road has not been widened yet. But I guess we'll get to it. We'll be able to see that soon. It's looking backwards. This is the roundabout. This is actually a deadly roundabout now. One person was killed in an accident at this roundabout already. And beyond this roundabout, the East Coast Railway Road is still to be widened. Right, that's looking along the new East Coast Bypass Road towards the East Coast Road. And this is looking towards Ogle Airport. That's it, guys. That's it for this video. Share with friends and family. Let people know what's happening in the fastest growing country in the world. That's the new roundabout here at Ogle. Later!